Without the makeup and plastic surgeons, the people in the court are starting to see Diddy for who he really is. Now they're questioning his nationality. Some people saying that he's mixed with mangled. He don't have the plastic surgeons and the people to make him look normal. Now his lawyer is allegedly reporting that Diddy was born with mental retardations. Not just him, but everybody that was ever signed to Bad Boy, because according to most, Bad Boy started off as a foundation for people with special needs, and Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, was running the show like a daycare. Diddy's claims of diminished mental capacity take center stage days before the sex trafficking trial. Now people digging up his yearbook pictures. He looks slow in those. They looking at his baby pictures. Something wasn't right. So it's a possibility that Diddy could be coming home.
Well, the trial of Sean Diddy Combs starts 1 week from today. The sexual misconduct charges he faces have attracted widespread media coverage, which could make it difficult to pick an unbiased jury.
Okay, Fox 5's Lisa Evers is in the newsroom. And Lisa, today you had an exclusive conversation with a jury selection consultant about that jury selection process.
Yes, I did, and very, very interesting. She's telling us it will be up to 12 residents of 8 New York counties, including some from upstate, to decide whether Sean Diddy Combs walks away from this case a free man or stays locked down for decades. Now the jury selection process is underway to pick a jury who can decide his fate.
Diddy was once seen as a superstar and fashion icon. Now his only outfit is a prison jumpsuit. 600 men and women are filling out jury surveys to determine if they will be deselected or selected to determine his fate. It's based on 20 to 70 questions.
The questions range from your basic impartiality, your basic ability to serve, if they have financial hardship or childcare concerns. But then they also go into a range of what groups, organizations they belong to, their experiences with law enforcement. And then they really get into their thoughts on the nature of the charges.
Judge Arun Subramanian has ruled that the horrific video of Cassie Ventura being beaten by Combs can be admitted in court. Prosecutors will also be able to introduce videos of the alleged freak-off sex and drug sessions.
They really get into their thoughts on the nature of the charges. So if hearing graphic evidence would make it hard for them to be fair, their experiences with sexual harassment, domestic violence, they go into questions about drug and alcohol use.
If they prove in the court of law that Diddy was born with special needs, all of the people that party with him is going to have to be held accountable for partying with a retarded man. Since Clive Davis allegedly gave Diddy's mother money so her son can run the show, and he was having freak-off parties, doing drugs and drinking, that means that his mother should be held accountable for her son's actions because she was his caretaker. There's a possibility that Diddy gonna come home and his mother may have to do some time.
For most of this week, prosecutors and Diddy's defense team will be poring over the questionnaires and eliminating candidates.
By May 1st, they have to propose 4 lists. So a list that both sides can agree, the jurors can move on to jury selection so they don't have any hardships or cause challenges. A list that both sides agree should be excused.
Now, the prosecution and defense will each submit a list of jurors that they do not want on the jury. The people who make it will be there in federal court a week from today for the actual jury selection. Now, whether they are questioned because of the high-profile nature of the trial, their names will not be read in court. They will be identified simply by number.
So it all boils down to Diddy's mental capacity. If he was taken advantage of, that means that he's innocent, like a child will be innocent, and the time that he already served is going to be time served, and he's going to be on his way home. They should have knew something was wrong with Diddy when he wanted to party with Justin Bieber all day. They should have knew something was wrong with him when he signed Mace to Bad Boy. Mace was telling stories about him and Puff that had Cameron scratching his head.
Can I tell you a story, Killer? I don't think I ever told you this story. This is what Puff taught me. One time I walked in when I was fresh off the streets. I got signed to Bad Boy. I had these fresh Air Nikes on, and the nigga Puff had on Air Nikes too, brand new. I made a mistake and stepped on his sneaker, and the dirt was on his laces, on his white Airs. I said, man, my bad, because I had stepped in some dirt. You know, the nigga Puff came back, put his feet in the dirt, and stepped all over my sneakers. I said, yo, what are you doing? He said, my bad. I said, yo. The moral of the story is, nobody just want to hear you say you're bad.
So according to Mace, if you do Puff wrong and you apologize, that's not good enough. And that got me thinking about what went down with Cassie in that elevator. I get sad and mad every time I think about it. He had no business putting hands on that woman like that. And the whole world got to witness how petty he was. According to Mace, even if Cassie apologized to Puff for whatever it is that she did to make him mad, he's the petty type that's going to get his revenge regardless. So that apology that he put out saying that he was sorry for what he did to Cassie, I don't know if he was being sincere or not.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
I'm starting to believe these rumors about him being mentally special because his apology seems sincere, and you can tell by that look in his eyes that something definitely not right with him. Terrence Howard recently came out and did a couple of interviews about Puff. He said that he went over to Puff's house and he was supposed to be his acting coach, and the whole time he was there, Puff was just staring at him. And he was thinking that Puff wanted to have sex with him, but the truth of the matter is, Puff got mental disabilities. All of them had it. Mace got it. Rest in peace to Biggie. He had it. People didn't know if Biggie was looking at them or looking at the wall because he was cockeyed. Faith Evans was cockeyed. And rest in peace to Biggie, no disrespect. Stevie J got special needs. Total. The whole roster. So when Terrence Howard talk about these pool parties and these freak-offs, a lot of people in the entertainment industry got mental disabilities.
My friend said to me, rappers, they're all so tough until you hear their real name.
Yeah, well, until you see them at a puffy party.
Oh.
Then they're not tough no more. I'm surprised that the rap game is still alive because the masculinity that the rappers are supposed to portray.
What is it with all the man-on-man action that I'm learning about? I mean, like with the puffy parties, like the last thing I ever thought that went on there was gay stuff. Not that gay stuff was wrong, it's wonderful. I just did not think that's what Puffy was doing.
Yeah, well, I didn't think it either. And even when my assistant said that stuff, I still was like joking it off. And it wasn't until later on that I heard other things from people that worked from him. You know, you remember that back in the times of they had a thing called breaking the buck, where they would take, not to go in a bad place, but this is how I see what's happening, the parallels with what's happening correlates what's happening in the business. If they, back in the times, if they had like some 12-year-old that was just full of himself and confident and, wasn't listening, they would tie him to a log or a barrel, and a bunch of the overseers would rape him to where when he walked around with the slaves now, he didn't have the confidence.
Sure.
He was broken. And it was called breaking the buck.
Wow.
And that's still taking place. And so to hear that people in the industry are still making young rappers who have fought the worst of circumstances, being disenfranchised, being discounted, and then they finally like, I'm gonna put it into the music. I'm gonna do it in the music. I'm gonna, and get myself together. And they go and see someone, and they tell them, okay, yeah, you can have a deal. Perform on me, and you get your deal. That was what I heard while I was on Empire about some of the people in the business. And Petey Pablo, you remember Petey Pablo?
I know who that is.
Petey Pablo, talented writer, singer. Him and Young Buck wrote a song called His Own. And in that song, back in about 2011 or 29 or something, because he called out all of the taking place at those parties and those people, he was kicked out of the music business. No radio station would play his stuff. So you look for Petey Pablo, he's not around anymore. But that song, Oh It's On, they did not care. They went all in on it.
To Puff's defense, if you put a bunch of special people in the room together and give them drugs and alcohol, it's no telling what they're going to do next. They can't even control themselves sober. So just imagine what they'll do when they're induced with alcohol and drugs. A lot of basketball players never really got an education like that because they're good at sports. Shout out to Shaquille O'Neal, but they got him on video humping Kevin Hart from the back. Kevin Hart never really got an education like that, and he was partying with Diddy. People say he's retarded, and I think that he's crazy in a funny type of way, but people will argue that Kevin Hart got mental disabilities as well. All of these celebrities in Hollywood, I'm trying to tell y'all, something simply is not right. T.D. Jakes was put in special ed when he was a kid. According to a lot of people that knew him from back in the day, before the Lord anointed him, he had a speech impediment. He had a whole lot of mental issues, and by the grace of God, he was able to become a multi-millionaire. But that don't stop the fact that once upon a time, he was just like Diddy. So when they met each other, they had sympathy for each other, formed a relationship with each other, and before everything went haywire, T.D. Jakes was defending the fact that he was besties with Diddy.
It's something, and that's why don't say. That's why people get on my nerves talking about who you should be seen with. I do homeless shelters. I walk in prison ministries. I deal with murderers. I deal with rapists and killers because they're our children, our sons and our daughters. Hallelujah. I never have to justify stooping low. See, they put you in a situation where you can't win. If you hang out with the rich folk, you're snooty. If you stoop down low and get somebody in trouble, you had no business. So I'm supposed to sit at home and do nothing. I went in the prisons. I ministered to the inmates. I've had 40,000 people to go through our Texas Offenders Reentry Initiative and get jobs and be respectable and stand up on their feet. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't have time to play games. I don't have time for foolishness. I don't have time.
I'm going to share with y'all the main example that's going to get Diddy out of jail, and that's none other than Kanye West. If Kanye's a free man and Diddy's in jail, that don't make no sense whatsoever. You want to talk about somebody having mental disabilities, somebody not being able, somebody that should be locked away forever and ever. If Kanye West is home and Diddy is in jail, the kids gonna wake up tomorrow and realize there is no Santa Claus. Cameron came out and had to address Kanye West about the things he said about his cousin, all that cousin loving. People thought that was a Southern thing with the kissing cousins or whatnot, but people from Chicago country too. No disrespect to my country people out there, but I'm just saying. Kanye West came out. Hey, I'm country. My people from Florida, so it don't get no more country than Sean Blazington. So this ain't no knock towards nobody, but that's Negro here nor there. Kanye West came out and said that he was shucking on his cousin. He admitted that Not only is he on drugs, but he's on nitrous. People watching him crumble right before our eyes, and nobody's like, hey, so we need to get this man off the street before he do something really, really crazy. People gonna wait until it's too late and Kanye West do some old other Y'all thought Diddy was bad. Imagine the skeletons Kanye got in his closet. He already talking about that cousin loving and all that extra shucking he been doing as a child. Like we asked him to volunteer that information. If Diddy is in jail and Kanye is home, the world don't make no sense. And they're looking at using this in Diddy's trial to let the jury know, hey, you got way worse villains out there.
Kanye been in the public eye for at least going on 20 years, if not longer. Maybe 22, 23 years, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. And now you gay or had gay acts or whatever the point be, working. Everything he got going on ain't seem to have been working. He had swastikas. He's Hitler last month, wasn't he? Hitler? And then he was a KKK nigga about 3 weeks ago. Now he molested his cousin and he gonna do a song about it. It's just too convenient. See, and you know, I haven't been around him in years. Maybe like 3 years ago, I seen him for about an hour or two. But he's a regular guy that wanted to rap and did hot beats and so on and so forth. And he figured out a lane for himself. He started with snatching paparazzi. He won his pictures, got around the right bitches that made his celebrity grow and made their celebrity grow too. And, you know, I remember Dame talking about Cam, you know, he's bipolar. He don't be taking his medicine. I never knew this. I'm not saying he is, and I'm not playing with people who are bipolar. I get it. I just never seen none of it. I've been around Kanye for a long time ago. I just didn't see a murder. Is that still your son? This is true. What I will say is this. I lived in Chicago for about 5 years. Shout out to the West Side, K-Town, all my niggas on the South Side, the Hundreds and everything. Everybody know I stayed up in Chicago for about a good 4 or 5 years. And Chicago is one of the best towns, best cities. I love Chicago because I got New York vibes, but it was super duper violence. Don't get that. The women were more cool. Like it wasn't New York, like, you know, New York girls are a little rough or whatever. And I'm not saying nothing about the city of Chicago, but two of the biggest superstars ever. It's some molestation, nasty, and on bitch. It's a lot of going on with two of the biggest superstars ever, not just from Chicago, ever in music history, where some personal nasty going on. I don't know what was going on up there like that. This is before I got there, obviously, but y'all putting a stain on a good city, man. Y'all need to cut this shit, baby.
Run around my shoes like they were Jordans, and it's still be that high school shit where a nigga like Cam or somebody, or like Cam, C-A-M, will like tell me that I'm smearing Chicago, nigga. Fuck yeah, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never, you niggas talking about how nigga you can't kill nobody, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I'm giving you my crackhead shit. Cause that's how I feel, nigga. And this is not politically correct. Now don't tell me shit. Crackhead, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, nigga, f that. No, nigga, f that. And nigga, you know what I'm saying? 50 Cent, I love 50 Cent. I love what he's doing over there. I don't want, you know what I'm saying? Don't go against God, nigga. You know, I be seeing homeless people. I'm like, these niggas probably like gods, bro. They like, we ain't having that. This nigga just like, I'd rather grab a cardboard box than to deal with. It's like this nigga trying to tell me some. And that's the whole Cousins. It's like a final breakthrough of all this tough guy. Like, it's my version. I'm like the internet version of like some school shooter, like type, like who the bully for real? Who got bullied for real? Is it Pink Polo, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like when Jim Jones didn't give me the PDF. It's like, nigga, I knew you was getting the $2 million for the meeting that I was taking, and I could have bailed on it. I went and took the meeting anyway, and you still ain't sent a PDF. So it showed you was looking at me like I was half some shit. Like, niggas is really mad. You know what niggas be really mad is when you actually give them something. Because they don't want to actually receive something, they want to take it from you. But if you give it to them, it really make them feel bad. Like, And then the blessings are bestowed as I bestow grace on these niggas. When we say watch the throne, it's only one throne, it's only one king. And we know who the king is, obviously. Who y'all watching? Who y'all care about? You know what I'm saying? And these niggas couldn't even. And the other thing is Cam, 50, anybody, even like Ferg. I got love for all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Why y'all niggas won't mention happening with my children though? Mm-hmm. Because culturally, y'all speak up, it's gonna make a difference. But niggas wanna be like, oh, we understand Ye now because of the Cutting song. How about the fact that in real life, Twigs can send my daughter a treatment be in a video and I don't see it? Right? And now, I always thought the two niggas that I never feel like ever having to go back and forth with in media is 50 Cent and Cam. I was like, them is the two niggas that's like just as crazy as me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like when 50 Cent got Rick Ross' baby mama to go porn shit, like all this shit. I was like, damn. Them niggas is like, I don't even feel like it, bro. I'm gonna say it because it's gonna piss them off. I got bigger fish to fry, bro. And to be going back and forth. So if they can get in my head, if Cam can get in my head and give me like, nigga, then he won. So matter of fact, you know what, Cam? I love you. Because I do love Cam. You know what I'm saying? You niggas' hairlines is pushing back. The Vala, you know. Y'all niggas say, all right, sir. You know. No, I love that nigga though. Because when you're in high school, right, nigga, whatever, it's jokes. Nigga, like I said, graduation drop. That's the day 50 Cent became 25 cents. You know what I mean? It's jokes though, nigga. It's love, right? Niggas, we cracking jokes, right? Ha 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 ha. Who laughing to the bank though, nigga? Oh, no. Let me get on my correct.
Y'all gotta let me know in the comment section, who would y'all rather have home? Kanye West or Diddy? If you had to put one in jail and have one be free in society, which one y'all picking? Leave a comment below and let me know how y'all feel about that. Like I told y'all, everybody associated with Bad Boy Records allegedly has some form of mental disability one way or another. Did y'all hear about Lil Kim? Her and her 25-year-old boyfriend, who was way younger when they first started dating, he wound up having a baby on her. And people wondering, how come a 50-something-year-old Lil Kim and messing with little kids? Maybe that's because she was a part of the Bad Boy camp and all of them is sick one way or another. If you haven't heard the story, I need y'all to listen to this and think, should Diddy be the only one in jail? Or should everybody that was affiliated with him or associated with him be rounded up and put in jail right along with him?
Lil Kim is shaking and all her tea is being spilled. So Lil Kim's young boo / artist / YN is now coming in spilling all of her tea. His name is Tay Brown and he's been rapping under Lil Kim's label for about 1.5 years now. Well, he's coming out and saying that Lil Kim has now canceled his contract, unbeknownst to him, all because he had a baby. There's a lot to the story, even a video. Let's talk about it. This is Lil Kim's boyfriend / her artist, Tay Brown. He is 25 years old to where Lil Kim is in her 50s. Now, Kim looks amazing. I love Lil Kim. I don't want to disrespect a legend, but it's a trend going on right now. It's not just the Shannon Sharps dating the 19-year-olds or the Diddy's getting Cassie fresh out of college. It's now the grown women that are dating these YNs. You got Drea, you got Anthony Edwards' baby mamas, and the girlfriend that he claims. Everybody's in his 30s and he's like 23. So the older ladies are out here snatching up these young guys, and the younger guys are out here taking these older women serious. Well, it looks as though he was not as serious as he played it to Kim because he now had a baby. Now, if I'm going to be honest, in all the clips that I found, it didn't seem as though he was as interested as he played it to be. It definitely was a sugar baby situation. They were on this plane and she was doing a little childish game of she threw a stuffed animal at him and he chucked it across the room. Even his face in these Gucci glasses, this was like the moment that they did that. He was so annoyed. I knew that he was just like a sugar baby. Somebody else like, God, I can't stand my sugar daddy, but I'm gonna give him a kiss today. You know what I mean? Because I'm young and supple and they're trying to steal my young energy. Let's just be honest. Now, what's interesting about this situation to me is I think that young man really favors her baby daddy. I think that became Kim's type, and she's been looking for it ever since. She just found it in a young man, somebody she could probably, or she thought she could, control better. Because if you look at him here, and above is the video that they did together that's posted on Lil Kim's page. But then you look back at her baby dad. Tell me that's not the uncle and the nephew. That's exactly what that gives me. I'm like, they need to check something because the 23andMe says you are at least the cousin. Well, he's not featuring Kim anymore. He said he did not listen to his lawyer. He signed some bad contracts that was going to make his company 65% hers, even if he blew. So, it was a bad deal to begin with. But now she's not releasing any of his music. I'm going to let him tell his story. Let's watch this recording.
My phone talking about don't do this. Y'all is weird, bro. And all your business partners, all the over here, you talk all the time talking about I'm the problem, I'm the bad investment, all this shit, because I wasn't popping at the time. But I was the one that believed in what you wanted to do. Like, I was the one that was backing your whole vision, bro. All these you listening to was just trying to milk you. Talking about communication, bro. What communication was with me, bro? What communication was with me? Nobody communicated with me. Don't give a about me. Out of here.
Now get ready to pause the video.
I'm not the type of
There's
do this, bro.
screenshots of the
bro.
That they worked with.
All I've ever tried to do was feed my people,
so make
bro.
sure you pause
all I ever tried to do is feed my people and put music out for the world. That's my whole passion. That's all I cared about ever in my whole life, bro. I'm pissed, bro. She signed me some wrong that she didn't like that had nothing to do with the music. I never disrespected her. No way in terms of business. I signed the contract. My lawyer told me not to sign the contract. I still signed the contract because I trusted her.
Dummy.
And I was like,
if your lawyer said no, why have a lawyer?
Went wrong. She stopped communicating with me. And then a couple months later, I'm like, okay, well, it ain't gonna stop me from dropping music. I'm an artist. I want to drop music. And then no communication. Now she want to take my music down, bro? Yeah. All she had to do was reach out to me and be like, yo, you shouldn't be dropping music. And then I get my lawyer and we figure out how to end the contract. I didn't give a he had 65% of my care. That's fine. Up one day and I had to order some money. I don't care. I give it to her. I got nothing but love for shorty.
That's it. Did I do to anybody, bro? In real life, what we talking about? How is you minding your business? Bro, I'm your artist. How do you mind your business, bro? What does that even mean, my nigga? What does that mean? You tell me what we doing. All I'm doing is making music. I'm just making music. What does that even mean? Wait to hit her up about what? Mom, you talking about a grown?
I think people with mental disabilities go way far beyond celebrities. Me, I deal with anxiety and a few other things. Nobody's perfect. We all got flaws. But one thing I noticed, people smoking loud have the worst mental disabilities that I've ever seen. This getting worse by the day because it's not what it used to be. Diddy was on all types of drugs on top of his alleged mental disabilities, right along with all the other celebrities out there mixing alcohol and drugs with their disabilities. I want y'all to hear something because I know a lot of y'all like to get y'all smoke on, and ain't nothing wrong with that. You could do whatever you want to do, especially when you grown and you can afford to do whatever it is you want to do. But y'all need to listen at this. A lot of people been quitting the za. People not smoking the chronic or whatever you want to call it. People deciding to put it down because they've been noticing that they've been having some mental issues just by dealing with different types of narcotics. Rather, if you don't want to consider it a drug, you want to call it a herb, you want to call it a leaf or whatever the case is, it might not be what you think it is. And they can use this in court to get Diddy out of jail because it's really that serious.
5 things that I noticed when I quit smoking marijuana. I'm gonna try not to pause this video because I want it to be super authentic and I don't want to think about it too much. The first thing I could think of off bat is the dreams. Bruh, I haven't dreamt so vividly since I was a child. Like, last night, I had a vivid dream last night. I can still remember it too. When I was smoking weed and then trying to recount my dreams in the morning, I couldn't. I didn't know what I dreamt about. But I had like a kind of traumatic dream last night about my childhood or whatever. And it's not lingering with me, but the fact that I'm able to recount it is because I don't smoke no more. Second thing, irritation. You will have peak irritation. When I say peak irritation, meaning you're going to have the most irritation that first week through the third to fourth week, depending on who you are. That first to second week, oh my God. I wanted to wrap my nigga hands around a lot of people's neck and choke the shit out of them. Like, especially at work. Now, to that point of irritation, you become more consciously aware of the things that people say to you and people's actions. Some people think when they smoke weed, it makes them more conscious of everybody's actions. For me, I would beg to differ. For me, when I stopped, it just made me more conscious of my surroundings and the things that people were saying to me. Like, you realize, one, people say a lot of stupid shit. Two, people say a lot of unnecessary shit. Like, why are you talking? Like, you don't have to say anything right now. It's good to have silence. And three, a lot of people are condescending. When I was smoking before work, I really didn't give a fuck because I didn't want to go to work anyway. So I really didn't give a fuck. I would just go to work. I didn't really care about what people were saying too much or what anybody else had going on. But you really noticed that shit. Third thing that I noticed. I said I wasn't going to pause, but shit. Third thing that I noticed. A lot of the times, I was just bored when I was smoking. A lot of the times, you just smoke it because it's there. You just smoke it because you see the wood in the ashtray and you probably just boofed off that hole and it's just there. That is a bad habit to build on, just doing something because it's there. Think about that. That's talking about weed. Now, are you eating food just because it's there? Are you actually hungry and need to nourish and fuel your body? You need to take that thinking on to other things. Same thing with drink. Are you drinking because it's there and you have nothing to do? Find something to do. Fourth thing that I noticed, my conception of time is a lot differently. When I was smoking weed, it was like time would slow down for me. Some people say time speed up for them. No, when I was smoking weed, time would slow down and I would just be in a flow state with doing that. Like, I probably smoke, be on my phone, but really I smoke and be staring off into space and just thinking, just how, you know. But now that I stopped smoking, it seems like time goes faster. And then I'm more consciously aware of what I'm doing with my time. Like, I look at an hour, 1 hour completely differently now. I look at 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, completely different now. You'll appreciate how you're spending your time a little more and how you see time a little more. The fifth and final thing that I've noticed, among other things, I got a lot of things I've noticed, but for this video, the fifth and final thing that I've noticed is how much money I have in saving. Like, I would spend a ridiculous amount of money a week to maintain a habit. The funny thing about the human mind, in coordinates with the human body, if you have a habit, no matter what you're going through, no matter how much money you make, just no matter what the situation is in life, you'll figure out how to get it. Now, if we applied that same thinking into how we chase whatever goals that we have, like no matter what I'm going through, I'm gonna get this job, I'm gonna get this skill, I'm gonna have a relationship I want. If we applied that same thinking into the bad habits that we have, we'll be a lot better people and a lot better off.
I think y'all better wake up and smell the Folgers instead of smearing that marijuana in the morning. It might be more dangerous than you think. I ain't trying to tell y'all what to do, but that's something to think about. fried his brain all them years of partying. Just imagine what you're doing to yourself. There's rappers, comedians out here fighting over who been to the Diddy party and who wasn't. You got Darnell Rawlings and Corey Holcombs arguing, bickering about who was at them Diddy parties, who had a man between their legs, who was they involved with sexually. These grown men going back and forth about their relationships with Diddy. Y'all need to listen at this.
Nobody agree? So I'm wrong. Okay, I can be wrong. I'm talking about, but we at the what is this called? This is the Laugh Factory. We was at the Savoy, you wouldn't be able to be up here that long. You niggas be like, get your down, nigga.
I came up in the hardest rooms in Brooklyn.
And what happened?
And you ain't never with them rooms.
You just yelling.
Because I don't have a mic. I can talk to you straight up. You want to talk about it? You saying I'm mild. You saying I ain't come through the streets or the gutters is straight bull. And if you want to ask somebody, ask them. Okay, all right. Listen. This be fair. Fair conversation.
Larry, way to go.
No. Let's be fair. Let's be fair and real. You say you keep it 100. Know how I get down.
How?
32. I rip.
You rip lights?
I rip. You ask any ever see me bomb. Anybody. And you ask anybody that don't know me, I keep it gangster.
I don't say you.
No, you trying to say I'm a bum. I ain't no bum.
No, I didn't say
and that saw.
Your money is mild. It's mild.
Why don't y'all just have a battle, man, a standoff, a slam battle or some shit?
I suggested that.
Oh, you called him out? She was big.
So let me ask you a question.
I know you ain't scared of shit between a nigga legs at a swimming pool.
Yo, come on, man, with that shit.
Hey, man, he was sitting between the nigga legs at the pool.
Don't get no peace treaty on this fall gone.
No, y'all got to get piece it up, man.
You said I'll kick his all that type. And it wasn't never none of that.
I would, but I'm saying like I ain't that type of guy.
I know, and I would fight back.
Have you ever been penetrated or penetrated a man?
Whoa. What are you talking about? What you?
You know what? The thing is, Corey.
Oh, brother.
You can't dodge this question, because y'all guys don't never answer this question.
No, sir.
Have you? Wallow gave a little up in jail. What ain't this?
Closed abortion clinics down. If got this stuff together, had some morals and some respect to himself, you wouldn't have a show.
Hey man, you can't be respectful when you want to be respectful and then be this asshole who talking crazy to me while I'm on stage. Come on, man.
I understand that part.
No. How about this? When men disrespect each other, they fight or kill each other. That's why we don't disrespect each other, especially like that.
But I don't get grimy though, Corey.
But no, you can't disrespect people. And then you was lying. You was lying about you, dog.
You are funny off the misery and the trauma of this. Nobody wants to hear that you talking about. If it wasn't daddy issues, you wouldn't have a show, nigga.
Remind me of a brawl. You just say something, and then when somebody say, "What did he say?" You be like, "I don't know. He said something."
You know what you remind me of? You remind me of a bit of.
The BB. He remind you of a BB, a bit of.
A triple B, a big bitter, a big bit crazy, man. Y'all got to stop this.
You like an old stripper.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
You a swimming pool opener, dog. You like the little preacher that just started out. They let him go up there and say something for the main preacher go up there who going home with the money. Hey, man, if I'd have went to the pool party, I'd be rich, dog. That's all I'm saying, man. Yo, ass was out there, dog. Remind me of a brawl. You just say something, and then when somebody say, "What did he say?" You be like, "I don't know. He said something, though."
Listen,
get your ass back. But sometimes people just let you open.
We don't get a stripper pole for you, Corey, and just relive your past.
Okay.
You was running around. You was a Chippendale, huh?
If you had on a tuxedo, you would look better in a jogging suit. It looked like you supposed to have on a jogging suit. If you had on a tuxedo, the police would be like, "The f you up to?"
Nigga, I ain't never would say
that was pretty. What I'm saying is, tell me who fine.
I don't know fine niggas like you. You sit at the pool between their legs. Okay, there you go. Yeah. You ain't say somebody.
You got some niggas that's good looking to you.
I know some handsome gentlemen. Hey, boy, I'm about to send you some swimming trunks to try to get to the end of this, dog. I'm sending you pool wear from now on.
This nigga's crazy. What does Donnell Rollins have to be jealous of Corey Holcomb for? I'm just trying to say that.
I got hair. They ganging up on me. Ain't none of these got no hair. I got 3
I do hate. I don't like people with hair.
I got a little special treat for you ladies out there. Since y'all like to watch these videos and see men bashing other men, y'all like to hear about Diddy doing bad and all these brothers going in and out of jail, baby mama drama and stuff. I got something special for the ladies out there, because Puff was involved with some nasty freaks, but they not getting called out for what they was doing. Puff was involved with some city girls that's known for being nasty, raunchy, and freaky. They not being called out for what they doing. I need y'all to listen at something, because this lady, let it be known that you lady folks out there ain't all that you put out to be. She exposing everything. For my fellas out there, y'all need to listen at this too, because we've been talking about Diddy real bad. But what about these ladies that ain't taking care of themselves like they supposed to be taking care of themselves? And I ain't trying to bash my women. Y'all know I love y'all to death. I would never want to beef with the women that watch my videos. I need all the ladies out there to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. But right now, I'm going to have to show y'all how some of y'all ain't living right. And it's only right because y'all listen to me talk bad about Diddy for a long time. Now it's your turn to get a piece of this whip.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm a waxer. We need to have a chat. Sorry, I'm in between clients right now. I have 20 minutes to eat my lunch, so I'm doing it at the same time. But to preface this video and say I'm not trying to shame anyone. I'm just being super honest. Being a woman, a waxer, you realize that not everyone grew up with the same knowledge of hygiene, feminine hygiene as you. And like I said, this is more meant so to be educational, but I need to set the scene so you guys understand what it's like when some people lay down on our table. Now you have to understand, as a waxer, there's a lot of things that I don't care about. You're like, oh, my hair is so long. I don't care, that's the point. Like, sorry, I'm sweating like in the middle of the wax. Girl, I don't care. I don't care about your hyperpigmentation. I don't care about your ingrown hairs, your weight. I don't care about your size. I don't care what you wore to come. Like, I don't care. But there is a certain level of personal hygiene that I think people don't realize you have to take extra care of the bits and goodies that are downstairs when you're a woman. And these are things that if you do not learn as a child growing up, you really don't know. Men don't really care when they're having sex with you. So then when you have another woman down there, a service provider, it's like, wait, just so you know, this is going on downstairs. Being honest, if you didn't know this, now you know. You need to wipe front to back. As a waxer, when you wipe back to front, I can tell. Your feces is smearing into your discharge, and it's all the way up the front of you. And obviously this has a smell, but this is like severely unhygienic. It's introducing a lot of bacteria into the area, and you are very prone to UTIs when this happens. And honestly speaking, some women don't know this. Like, genuinely don't know, because honestly, wiping back to front is easier, but it's not right. You need to be exfoliating your whole body. You need to use a washcloth or a loofah of some sort. I use a silicone loofah because it is not harboring with bacteria as like a netted loofah. You need to use something to wash your body. You need to wash your whole body. You need to spread your cheeks and get the water in between your cheeks when you're in the shower. You need to wash your legs. You need to wash your feet. You cannot just use your hands. It may not seem like a hygiene thing, but this is a respect and a manners thing. I can't tell you how many times I've had clients come in. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. I was at a workout class. Hey, sorry, I'm a few minutes late. I just came from the gym. Why would you do that? And listen, I'm one for charging a late fee and a no-show fee. I will charge you. But if you're like, hey, I was just at the gym and I am sweaty down there and I just worked out for 2 hours, or I just came from a hot mat class, a hot yoga class. I need to shower before my wax appointment. I promise you, I might even give you a discount. Like, if you are sexually active with your partner before your appointment, chances are high that we know. Number one, it has a smell. But if he nuts inside of you, it's coming out on our table. When we pull the strip, you lose control of that area in your pelvic floor for like a few seconds here and there. It comes out. And listen, that's y'all's business. Do what you need to do. I'm grown, I'm pregnant, I get it. It gets to a point where like you need to have that under control before everything is out on the table. Because everything will be out on the table. Believe that. Unfortunately for me, it will be. So even just like that's a manners thing. That's something we need to be mindful of before going to our appointments. Like, this is why people have sit-down air, if you don't know. This is why people have sit-down air, because they are not clean down there. And this is the area of you that you never see and that you can't really get to. That's why people come and get waxed, because nobody's trying to shave in between the crevices. But they do need to be clean. And number one, the reasons that I'm saying this is because, like, so I've had situations where, like, clients genuinely, I have a hard time waxing them because of odors and things like that. Mind you, I am pregnant, so I'm sensitive, but like even before then, if you come and you have feces smeared all the way up to your vulva, the entire room smells like poop. I got clients after you, and then now I'm running late because I'm trying to air out the room. Like, mind you, I'm face first in your crotch, trying to do service for you. I need you guys to understand, although I'm being like firm in this video, trying to be educational, I'm not trying to shame y'all. People literally don't know, and that's okay. And like I said, there's a lot of things I don't care about when I wax you. Like, even people be farting on the table, stuff like that. People be farting on the table when I get facials and they're asleep. Like, you really can't help, especially when you're, you know, spread eagle, butt naked on a bed. Like, it happens when I'm pulling a strip. That's totally fine. It's not my favorite thing in the world. Things like that, though, it's fine. But and not just because you're getting a wax. You need to control these things because this is your body and your health. Especially if you are someone that is sexually active and has a sexual partner, man, woman, whoever. And, you know, check yourselves. I would say it's a small percentage of women watching this video that have ever taken a mirror or their phone and gone like this. Listen, it's not always a pretty sight. It's not. And really looked at yourself. You should not have toilet paper crumbs that have been in your lips for a few days. And the first time they're getting out is when I'm waxing them out. There was a time that I thought a client had a tampon in, which is totally fine. I wax clients on their period all the time. I just tell them I do prefer that you wear a tampon. I don't want you to free bleed onto the table. Just thought she had a tampon in. I go to move the string because I'm trying to get this side. It's toilet paper that has been wadded up so far into her lips that it looked like a tampon string. But like, there's just so many things that if I were to tell y'all, you would be like, why do people do that? And you would be surprised that it happens as often as it does. Just telling you, be mindful when you're going into these services. But beyond the fact that it's for the services, this is your health. Things build up, things accumulate, bacteria harbors. Bacteria loves moisture, bacteria loves heat, bacteria loves confined spaces. Like, everything that has to do with a woman's female anatomy, bacteria loves that. Even on your best day, your body is still fighting those things out. So give yourself a fighting chance. Take care of yourself. Clean yourself. Take the time. It's part of loving yourself, and it is self-care. I don't want to see anyone spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on their face and you haven't washed your genitals in a few weeks. Haven't been cleaned out since the last time I waxed you. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, I gotta go. And please, I was not trying to sound rude, but it gets to a point.
If that's not crazy, I don't know what is. People suffering from mental disabilities all across the world. Diddy might be coming home because he's no better or no worse than anybody out here, for real. We all going through it one way or another. That's why we got to stay prayed up. Y'all got to let me know in the comment section how y'all feel about all this. Would y'all rather Diddy come home and get some help? Or would y'all rather him just rot in jail and let the next generation come up following in his footsteps? It ain't never gonna change. And if Diddy come home, they might as well let R. Kelly come home too. I'm not advocating for either one of these men, but I'm letting y'all know that allegedly his lawyers are arguing that Diddy is suffering and he got some mental capacities that he ain't been reaching or whatever the case is. Diddy claims of diminished mental capacity takes center stage days before the sex trial. So they're going to be talking about his mental health and if it's going to be right for him to be in jail, knowing that he was allegedly born with Down syndrome, was able to have a whole career, was able to get by in life. It's a whole bunch of people out there like that. Got problems out there, you know what. and still able to get by. The Lord is willing, the Lord is able. It's a lot of blessed people out here. Puff been blessed for a long time, but it's like he took his blessing for granted, and a lot of y'all doing the same thing. Y'all need to pray. Y'all need to repent. One thing y'all really need to do is let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button too. I got so much love for y'all.